This is part 4 of the devil character. In this video, I am UV unwrapping. I love this part of the process, but I think I like it slightly more than weight painting and rigging. His head is complicated and I am rusty with Blender and can't remember where all tools and hot buttons are in here. Since I will not be tiling and using any procedural repeating texture maps, I will be maximizing the texture space by projection by view and patch stitching his UV map. This way the map may have some slight stretched out of proportion areas, but it won't matter since the texture painting for him will be unique just for this UV map. Also, painting it by hand in Photopea or any photo editor will be straightforward without all the broken edges created with a smart UV map that is more of a 1:1 ratio. I think Substance Painter would be useful if textures with a lot of broken edges. I am not sure why the marking of seam is not working in this version of Blender. Oh well. Let's get on with it. So, I am breaking down his head into sections to project. Projection from view works by the angle of viewing in the 3D window. If you want a more detailed step-by-step of UV unwrap, watch my hound dog UV unwrap video. Link will be at end of the video. I am projecting from the top of the head to get a more accurate UV spread projection. Sometimes I will just project a tangled area that has a lot of overlapping edges just to move it out of the way on the UV mapping area on the left of the screen to make the workspace less cluttered. Areas such as his ears, I likely will give it more space on the more highly visible areas. The seams of mapping areas, I try and hide them in less noticeable areas. Areas like under the chin, I will give it less space, and I won't mind that the edges are more distorted for such areas as it's not a high focal point. For this character, I will be using 5 separate shader and map collection groups, first one for his skin, second one horns, third for eyes, fourth teeth, fifth for a cape. The cape I am not sure about though. I just don't really like how his bust just ends. Here I am projecting the side of his jawline and will stitch it all back up. UV mapping my projection on a complex character is a lot of jigsawing work. Make sure to stitch up broken edges as it won't map properly, and normal map baking will likely be a choppy disaster. I wish Blender had a lattice tool for manipulation of the UV. All I can do is rotate it and smear it with this tool. This tool is so strange, it feels like I am working with an octopus arm. Sewing and cleaning up the line flow for the chin and jawline area. For the jaw area, I try to retain the natural shape for easing of painting later on. Also I hope normal map baking will turn out nicer. Connecting the top of his head. This UV unwrap is taking a lot longer than I expected because of the high geometry count. This is painfully slow work. I don't know why I like projects that frustrate me. But I think to myself, at least I am finally getting to make really cool stuff I want to make. Unlike the monotonous sports characters and army gear assets I worked on when I was working in the industry as an art pig. This make me think, thank goodness. I don't miss cleaning up the messy work of others, and the dread of opening up files to finalize the work of others. Wow, there is so much I have forgotten about why I don't miss the industry. I am satisfied with his UV unwrap. It's time to mirror it and sew him back up. Here I am mirroring his horns, and make sure to flip the UV for the duplicated mirrored assets. When the modifier is applied under the arrow menu, the mirror becomes a permanent object. You can fiddle on and off the merge option depending on your needs. Sometimes it fucks up your mesh, so it's up to you. I guess this is mirroring UV tool. That would have been handy a couple hours ago. I am sewing each vert together at a time as I have not found a way to sew them all up at once in a line. Maybe I forgot how. If you know how, comment in my video. This is the finished UV map for him. In the next video, I will be working on multi-resolution high-definition sculpting. See you in the next one.